Hey, it's What's Up, Mike. And yeah, this is a weird situation where I'm an extroverted person who enjoys social interaction, and I get none of it right now. And then I found some ways to make my workday a little bit more efficient given this shit show, but it's a rough balance of isolating myself completely from my family and then having to also figure out how to homeschool kids. And then there's some weird businesses that fall into the essential category with a lot of folks out there booming versus getting killed right now. So let's get into that stuff. Yeah, we can start with the personal stuff. The only thing I've got for getting work done on a regular basis, like getting an actual work day finished every day. So to describe what we've got going on in marketing and advertising for small business, like it's obviously a crazy roller coaster in small business right now, and we're able to keep lots of our clients on, but the challenge is they all have stuff that needs to be adjusted for given the current climate with coronavirus. By the way, I know it's insensitive. I understand this. But the fact that that reporter asked the president if, on speculation as to whether or not his staff or his administration was referring to this as the Kung Flu, holy shit, that's hilarious. First of all, wasting the president's time. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of our orange leader, but my goodness, that is not what you ask him in that environment. What a stupid question. However, is there a more hilarious name for this? Insensitive, whatever. It's hilarious. So anyway, with the situation, all these people need adjustments to their advertising and marketing strategy, obviously. It's extremely volatile. And so what we've found is that we have no shortage of work, and our clients, most of which are paying, and the ones that are ramping up given the current situation are kind of making up for the ones that have paused or slowed down activity. But what that means is it's basically just twice the work for the same business because everyone's got projects and adjustments that need to happen. So I'm busy all day. I'm working full an 8-hour day is a lucky day, but most days are 10 to 12 hours, and getting it in to get these things done on time. But to do that, I just have to completely isolate myself from my kids. And if my wife is fully engaged with work, either going into the hospital or working from home, which she's able to do some right now, that leaves a lot on our childcare, and then it takes we can't put it on childcare to manage all of the kids' homeschool stuff right now. So we're having to figure out how to take breaks from work to get down and get engaged with the kids and get them working on school projects and answer questions and help them through stuff. It's whatever. But to get actual work done, I have to go up into my upstairs. Our office is a room off of our bedroom, and it's mostly my office because I brought my whole studio home from work. So I have to go up into the upstairs little little crow's nest office that's upstairs off of our bedroom. You have to go through our bedroom to get to it, and so the kids don't really come up here at all ever. So it's all the way isolated, both sound and physical isolation, and it works, but it puts a lot on everybody else because it's like I'm gone, but the kids don't go to school, so. It's whatever. But yeah, at least I'm getting the work done. So we're managing it. And yeah, and then all of those clients need all that work because shit's moving and shaking right now. So we have some, like, if you think about the types of businesses, there are industries that are booming right now, which is probably a little bit that's a smaller percentage of or smaller volume than the businesses that are struggling right now. So, anything that has to do with people traveling or eating in person at restaurants crushed. Like The Onion put a hilarious, morbid, but hilarious post out that said, new study finds that 100% of businesses fail within a year of it, or excuse me, I fucked that up. New study finds that 100% of restaurants fail within a year of it being illegal to go to them. I mean, it's difficult for people to stay afloat when that's the case. So, uh, yeah, those businesses are obviously struggling. Everybody's kind of aware of that, but there are businesses out there that are booming. Quite a few breweries or distilleries have been approached to transition all manufacturing to hand sanitizer through government contracts. Um, those are lucrative government contracts, and they should be. Like, these people should make money off of this kind of support, because they did the work, they put the effort in to bring this to market, right? You start a successful distillery, get your product to market, and get some profitability. Well, if you've built that infrastructure responsibly and profitably, and you have that, and then this situation happens where you have an opportunity to contribute, that's awesome. But to de-incentivize that ingenuity, entrepreneurialism that gets that infrastructure and that business to market in a profitable way by saying that the people that get these contracts should do it at cost or as a donation or should support the cause that way, that screws with the motivating factors that make that a possibility in the first place. So there's interesting cultural backlash, I think, right now against people making money off of this situation. Well, I think that backlash needs to be more tightly focused. It needs to be narrowed to people who make predatory money off of this situation. That's a whole specific category that a company like a distillery that gets a lucrative government contract to make hand sanitizer, that's a different categories, right? Predatory is people who bought hand sanitizer that was already on the market, sequestered it away from people who need it in the market, raise the price, and then bring it back to market. That is rent-seeking behavior. You're not adding any value to the market. I don't even know what that was, but there's no market value added there, right? So in that case, you're not doing anything that's helping anybody. So, but if you're increasing the volume of hand sanitizer available to the market, which also has the effect of putting the predatory folks out of business, well, in my mind, that's a double good. I keep getting sound notifications, so I apologize for that. But that's double the benefit, right? So, folks like that are going to be successful because of those opportunities. And then there are companies who it just so happens, air purifying companies that offer sanitizing services, anyone who makes masks, all these, Johnson & Johnson, as an example, all of their different divisions, especially all their medical device and consumable medical supply companies, consumables, supplies that get used up in the process of performing their normal function, like these N95 masks or anything else. That kind of company is going to experience a boom just because there's, it's a simple function of circumstances that have a massive effect on their demand curve. And just the volume of product that the market requires. So it's interesting to see it. We have some clients, we're split where we have about, I would say probably 20% of our clients getting crushed, 20% of our clients in a weird boom, and the rest is just uncertain, still doing business. Maybe things aren't ideal. They're struggling to make sure everything is staffed correctly. They're essential, and making sure that they keep the required staff for their non-essential business, but can continue operations through a remote solution, whatever that, we fall into, I think, non-essential business, but we can fall within the guidelines by staying 100% remote, 100% work from home. But that list of essential businesses gets weird, right? Like, we start looking at what that list of essential industries looks like: financial, healthcare, water, dams, transportation, chemical, energy, defense, information technology. Is Squeeze an information technology company? Everything we do, pretty much the vast majority of what we do, is digital. We're managing information flow for our clients. God, these notifications are terrible. We're managing information flow for our clients, managing customer contact. I don't think that's necessarily qualifying for information technology, but you see how it could be perceived that way. Food and agriculture, obviously. Government facilities, obviously. Critical planning facilities, obviously. I mean, you know, commercial facilities is one of those. That's very general, but I'm sure they get, the Department of Homeland Security gets into what that actually means. Emergency services and communications, right? Obviously phone lines, cell phone towers need to stay active in order to limit uh, systems from, crashing or being at risk. But, then you get into what there's some weird examples of this, right? Like liquor stores. Uh, all states except for Pennsylvania have allowed liquor stores to stay open, according to Fast Company magazine. That's weird, right? Like, why would Pennsylvania enable black market or push black market liquor sales? Because that's what this does, right? If the drug war has taught us anything, it's that when you make illegal recreational activities that people have culturally decided they deserve access to, one, they will get access. Look at every single human historic example of this. Look at prohibition. Look at the entire war on drugs and its absolute abysmal failure. Come on, Pennsylvania, get your shit together. It's not that the liquor stores being open creates some great good or allows some infrastructure to function that wouldn't have otherwise functioned. It's that by making them illegal, you create a black market that you then have to deal with on the back end of this. Dumb. Cannabis dispensaries have been staying open in most states that have legalized medical marijuana. Cannabis, some of this is from Fast Company still. Cannabis lobbyists having written an open letter to state governors arguing that many rely on these things to alleviate seizures and manage chemotherapy, PTSD side effects, all that stuff. So in those states, the legislature is already at least moderately positively viewing cannabis dispensaries in the first place to have them be legal in those states, and so they're leaving them open. Gun stores open. Most states that initially closed them have reversed course because they basically persuaded the Department of Homeland Security that guns are a matter of public safety and protection. Interesting debate around this, right? With all of the gun control debate that's out there, the idea that a state leaving gun stores open as an essential business and citing public safety and protection is almost a doubling down on all of the 2A lobby with the Second Amendment. And this, you're foolish if you think the NRA won't use this as a data point in future lobbying efforts. If we qualify gun stores as essential businesses to be open for America to continue functioning at as high a functioning rate economically as possible, essential businesses stay open for public safety, and we classify gun stores within that, that's lots. I'm not saying it's a good or a bad thing. It's just factual. That's lots and lots of precedent being set for the 2A crowd support for the NRA's political agenda. Interesting, to say the least. Hardware, home improvement, that's kind of two-sided, right? People need to continue to be able to support and maintain their place of where they live, their place of business if they're an essential business. But also, people got time on the weekends and nowhere to go. Lots of home improvement projects going on. I just think it makes sense. Office supply stores, all the stuff that supports essential businesses stays open as well. So interesting with what's open. Some of the things that I think are fascinating are bike stores are essential businesses, right? Bicycling is like bike stores are essential businesses specifically for the reason that automotive mechanics are essential businesses, right? They sell or car dealerships, right? They sell or maintain a mode of transportation that essential personnel may use for their commute to work. Never really considered that with bike stores. I just noticed that, man, everyone in my neighborhood's out on the road on a bike with their family, and that all the bike stores we know around here are open. And the one that's closest to us, Mike's Bikes, who's a big retailer, one of the more popular ones near us, they're actually posting they're hiring right now. They're hiring new employees because they've had so much increased demand for bike maintenance and new bike sales, and they're specifically hiring bike mechanics right now because people are bringing their bike in for a tune-up because they're like, hey, I can't go anywhere this weekend. Maybe I want to do a bike ride with my family. Interesting stuff with these essential businesses. What's open? What's kind of falling into that? GameStop in Massachusetts asked its staff to come to work and emailed instructions on how to pass customers their purchase. So this is great. This is a quote. It's from Fast Company magazine, to give them credit here. I think this is clearly in violation, and it's been rolled back since then, but it's hilarious. They say, quote, lightly, you want to be able to get it off easily. Lightly tape a GameStop plastic bag over your hand and arm. Do not open the door all the way. Keep the glass between you and the guest's face. Just reach out your arm. That's amazing. Like cover yourself up with a plastic bag and throw the game at them through the door, but don't get close, and then slam the door in their face. Come on, guys. I get it. Like, people trying to keep businesses open and making money because livelihoods depend on it. So it's just interesting to see the responses, how that stuff is kind of playing out. Essential businesses. Michael's stated its store is fundamental for people looking to take their minds off a stressful reality. But interesting here is that it's essential that workers come to Michael's Arts and Crafts store, what they said, to be here for the makers. That's a quote from them. So people who make as part of their profession and use Michael's as a supply store, maybe some of those maker businesses are essential. So like it's an arts and crafts store can fall into the supply chain support for an essential business and thus become essential under the commercial services portion. I think it's fascinating to kind of see how all that shakes out, but yeah. So that's what we're getting through with this. We're kind of looking at what's essential, managing priorities for our clients, and figuring out how to wade through the waters of the coronavirus roller coaster. But yeah, so we'll be back again. Going to continue doing the episodes, even on the weekends, because I've got the time and space, as does everyone. We'll fit it into my crazy work schedule. But after work's done, I got nowhere to go. Jiu Jitsu is canceled, unfortunately. See you soon.